It's called the social drink. The one we can't live without. The one that gets us through the day.
It's booze without the booze.
It's a passion, an addiction, a shot in the arm for a nation short on sleep.
There you go. Have a good one.
And a drink that spans generations.
Maxwell House. Good to the last drop. The only kind I sell.
Off the shelf and at the counter.
Small latte and a small iced latte.
More coffee is consumed in the U.S. than in any other country. 400 million cups of it every day.
You know, you think a baby having a bottle or something, you know, like how that comforts you. That's how coffee feels to me.
In the next hour, we'll take you inside the global coffee market, worth $80 billion, in search of the finest beans in the world. Follow us to the jungles of South America, where coffee and fortunes grow on trees.
Here's the coffee right here. The stakes are very high. If I'm not here, then I guarantee you somebody else will be to get the best coffee for their customers.
All coffee is grown within 1,500 miles of the equator in more than 50 countries. It's built empires and overbuilt them.
In a sense, Starbucks, for whatever reason, became the poster child at the time for excess.
The rise, fall, rise again of a giant at the heart of our caffeine culture.
Your life is short. Read only good books, keep only good company, drink only good coffee.
This is the Coffee Addiction. There was a time in America when coffee was just a drink.
Please enjoy.
Today, it is something more, fancier, tastier, pricier, a magic elixir that satisfies our collective craving and our addiction to caffeine.
So I find a lot of chocolate and caramel in there.
Subtle hints of jasmine on the nose.
And if there's any doubt that America's become a coffee nation, the proof can be found here in Houston, Texas, at the United States Barista Competition.
You're going to find a natural development of flavor. The sweetness is the focus.
These caffeinated connoisseurs are battling for a $5,000 cash prize and a shot at making it to the World Championship, where top honors are given for the best cup of joe on the planet.
2011 United States.
Once, slinging coffee was a job. Today, it's a calling.
We're going to give people what they want because that's what coffee is about. It's an experience. Enjoy.
Joshua Boyd is a barista and the owner of Metronome outside Seattle. Barista is Italian for bartender. And just like making a perfect martini, there's a lot of skill required of these ambassadors of coffee.
We've been inspired by a product. We've been inspired by the world's production of this amazing thing. And honestly, we've just been taken away by that river of passion.
Just as passionate is Melissa Owens, a one-time cover girl for Barista Magazine, considered the Bible for coffee enthusiasts. Owens was a pre-med student before finding her life's work, and is the first to admit her devotion to coffee might be a bit extreme, right down to her tattoos.
I had latte art tattoos, and I just caught the bug and became obsessed. Everything has to do with coffee or came from coffee in my life. I think as the coffee is getting better, from the producing to importing to the exporting, we as baristas can convey that message to the customer, and that's why they keep coming back.
Americans drink up to 400 million cups a day, and though coffee houses are the fastest growing part of the restaurant industry, 86% of us still get our morning fix at home, from top sellers like Maxwell House and Folgers, still on supermarket shelves where they've always been. Whether your coffee is store-bought or from Starbucks, the secret is in the roasting. A quality machine can cost as much as $350,000, but according to engineer Marty Curtis, it makes all the difference.
Coffee roasting is an art. If you make the roaster run to where it's easy for the person roasting it to manipulate the airflow in the burners, they can do that much better job on the coffee.
Don't let his wardrobe fool you. Building and fixing roasters has made Curtis a wealthy man.
Most people consider me top at what I do. I like to build Harleys. I was building choppers back in the 80s, and then I thought, why not do that to a roaster? And so I started hot rodding the roasters.
An unusual skill for sure. Curtis has traveled all over the world, perfecting his art.
So much better than a glass of wine that, you know, someday I would like to see us charge the prices of a glass of wine.
You want the wrinkles gone. And so that what we're trying to do is get the skin of it real smooth so it isn't wrinkly like the side of my face.
A small latte and a small iced latte.
Whether you want your coffee smooth, strong, light, or dark,
Double macchiato.
it's all in the roast. In a caffeinated cup of coffee, the green coffee beans are roasted for 12 minutes or so. The longer you roast, the stronger the taste.
A double short cappuccino and a decaf Americano, please.
But for decaf, the green coffee beans are soaked in a substance to extract the caffeine before they're roasted. Once removed, the extra caffeine is sold to pharmaceutical companies or soda and energy drink makers, who will use it in their products. But while taste is important, it's the caffeine that keeps us coming back.
When I get up in the morning, Nani has to have coffee.
I'll fight tooth and nail to have good coffee.
When you have two little kids, you drink coffee.
Coffee's the world's favorite drug. It's the safest drug we have.
Journalist Stephen Braun wrote the book on coffee and says caffeine and its physical effects is what fuels the entire coffee industry.
It's a perfectly legitimate business, but if they didn't have a drug in their product, they wouldn't have a business.
Would you put all of the coffee companies in that category of being a drug company?
They've got a good product in that they've got a drug that is stimulating and also mildly habit-forming. Therefore, you are very highly motivated to keep drinking coffee. So it's a great business to be in.
Caffeine is a classified drug, and like any drug, triggers a reaction that varies from person to person. While some people swallow 10 cups a day, others get by on just one or none. And the truth is, we only think we need it. Dr. Peter Martin is a professor of psychiatry and pharmacology at Vanderbilt University's School of Medicine.
One of the important distinctions between drinking coffee and an addiction is not having balance in your life.
Martin has spent the last 15 years studying the effects of caffeine. Some of his funding has come from coffee companies like Nestle and Starbucks. The medical consensus points towards the caffeine fix as less of an addiction and more of a physical dependence, with its own set of withdrawal symptoms, including migraines and mood alterations.
If you drink coffee regularly and then one day not drink coffee, then you might develop a headache or you might really want that cup of coffee, but you're not going to rob a bank or kill your wife to get that cup of coffee. What coffee does is combats the natural urges to sleep.
There are chemicals in your brain that help you stay awake and others that cause drowsiness. Adenosine is one of them, and when released, will make you feel tired. This is where caffeine comes in. Caffeine blocks the adenosine from doing its job, so you feel more alert and awake.
Could I get a double short Americano, please?
While a jolt of Java overrides the body's natural response, Dr. Martin says this is not a habit that needs breaking.
I was taught in medical school that coffee was bad for your health. But when I started looking at the literature, one of the things that was so interesting was that not only is coffee not harmful to health, it may actually be beneficial.
A Harvard School of Public Health study found long-term moderate coffee drinking could help prevent the onset of such illnesses as type 2 diabetes and Parkinson's. More reason, perhaps, to spare the guilt and have a cup. Good news for the millions of people whose life without coffee would be unbearable. But where does our coffee come from, and how does it get here? We found out.
Oh, man.
The hard way.
You think people have any idea what it takes to find coffee beans, quality coffee beans?
No, it's an amazing journey. I mean, it's not easy to find good beans. You got to go to the right